if you were to have those fancy dancy pencils I was talking about, then this gray part right here, the really light gray, would probably be an HB, which is what I have right here for my mechanical pencil. If you have a mechanical pencil, you would find it on this clip. If you have a regular pencil, you would probably find it right up here near the eraser. If you have an HB, you're just going to go light and do one single shade all the way across your raccoon's body. This is literally probably going to be your ear color and your face color and your chest color. I lied about the gray part. The gray part would probably be a B or a B2. But with that being said, let's quick sketch these in. Feather light. No pressure, just gliding across your paper. You can literally feather in this shadow. Avoid the highlight in your eye and in your nose. You see how there's a shine on the nose? And I'm just going to feather that in so I know to avoid that area. A highlight is where the light hits an object. It's its shiniest point, purest white you can possibly imagine when you're drawing. Anywhere where there's a highlight, you don't put any shadow or shading or marking there whatsoever. It helps kind of make your piece look three-dimensional. Don't forget your tail. Don't be like Teacher Carly. I almost forgot my tail. I'm running out of lead here. And you see how I'm holding my pencil, how my hand is all the way on the back here? That helps me keep that light pressure. I don't know about you, but I like to carve my soul into the paper. And I'm actually ending my line here at the cheek, so that way my pencil can gather at the border of this cheek and help that cheek pop later. So just keep those in mind. Those are some easy tidbit tricks that you can put in your cap or your hat for later. Not going to worry about the fact that I'm coloring over my pads. My pads are probably going to be just one layer of this light shade. Now, if you were using a fancy pencil with all those letters on it, you would be doing this shading process using an HB pencil. If you were to be doing it in ink, you would literally be doing it kind of like we're doing it with a regular pencil, just feathering it in, not putting pressure on the paper. And if it was with a micron pen, it would be a 001. Because ink and pencil, it's the same technique, just different tools. Same rules. They just have different ways of telling you what is a lighter shade versus a darker shade. Ink uses numbers, graphite uses letters and numbers. Okay, so I'm going to pause here and you let me know when you are ready for the next step. This gray, this darker gray, is going to have two layers. Let's go in the opposite direction. Whether you have pencil or pen, go in the opposite direction. You can choose to continue working with a 005. If not, you can start like bumping it up a notch and going like a higher number on your micron pen. If you have a pencil, you would use a regular pencil for layer 1, and then you would be using like a what do you call it? A B pencil for your graphite. And if you have a regular pencil, you're just going to do exactly what I'm doing right now with my pen. So many ways to get to this place, right? Obviously, you're going to want to add an additional layer to these eye masks or any darker features. But it looks like these pads are actually not going to get an additional layer. They're just going to stay a layer, a number 1 layer. So let's draw around them, or shade around them rather. Now going in the opposite direction is called a cross hatch. It helps you cover more space more efficiently. Yeah, that looks like that's another gray. It helps block out some of that white. You're still going to go in with that regular, that lighter pressure that I was talking about. Because literally this secondary layer of ink is going to make it just dark enough. You don't have to push too hard on your pencil or your pen for that matter. Alright, I gotta avoid this face mask, so I'm only gonna do around the cheek here. We are only gonna be focusing on the raccoon today, because I want you to continue using your 3-2-1 formula to figure out how you're going to shade your background. And right now it looks like everything's kind of, melded together, but once you start putting in your third or fourth layer, things are going to start popping here in a minute. You're going to see it. For your stripes are probably going to be a third or fourth layer, probably a third layer. Your eye masks are probably going to be more of 4. So this is, I think this is my third layer of ink. I'm going to be putting my third layer on my eye masks, maybe even my ears and my feet, the underside of my nose. Still same pressure. Now if you have a pen, micron pen, these layers you can bump it up to like a 0.1 or what is it, a 0.08. You're literally going up one more thickness in your nub size on your ink pen selection. If you have a graphite pencil with letters and numbers, this would be like a 4B or a 5B area. If you have a regular pen or pencil, you're just going to add a little more pressure and let a little less of that white peep through by adding a little pressure and keeping your lines closer together. And see, it's starting to pop. In fact, I would do even one more layer for the eyes and the ears. Each layer is going to eliminate some of that white for you, and you can move your pen or your pencil in different directions to help eliminate some of that white. But your pitch black, I'm going to do some underside of the body, because remember we talked about how when things are sitting on the ground, their body casts a shadow and their body blocks the light from hitting the bottom half of the animal. So I'm going to add that undershadow right here. But I'm going to do it at a curve because the muscles curve around the bone. So give it a little more three-dimensional effect. Same thing on the side here. All right, let's pop those eyeballs in there, because the eyeballs look like they're disappearing into the paper, right? Go as dark as you can go on the eyeballs. Doesn't matter how many layers you use here. You want your eyeballs to be a pitch black with little white kind of shine spots in them for your highlights. See that? That way you don't have an eyeless raccoon. That'd be kind of creepy. It's already creepy that they can rotate their feet at 100 degrees. Let's just keep the creeper factor down and just give this little guy some eyeballs. You can even darken the nose a little bit as you get down towards the mouth. Add your toes. And you can darken the foot pads if you want to bring out those cute little shapes that you put in for your raccoon's padding on here. See how I did that? You can do that if you want to. If you want to bump it up another notch on your pen nub size, if you're using that micron pen, you can in these areas. If you're using a regular pen like I am right now, you're literally just going to go back and forth until you feel comfortable, until you feel like it's dark enough to your liking. You might even have to like touch it up a bit. Make sure that you erase your extra pencil line to see if you need to make any adjustments to your raccoon's body, because sometimes that pencil line actually lies and makes an area look darker than what it needs to be or lighter than what it needs to be. So like right here, I need to build more on my raccoon's face mask to kind of make it pop from the white of the paper. Maybe have it more like down here, a little more defined. Just don't forget to do that last part of the project, because that pencil will eventually age and smear and fade away, and it will make your piece look less crisp than you want it to be.